ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, welcome back to Broker Brains. I am Shanna with Cascadian Northwest Real Estate.
I'm Andy Costello with Venture Commercial Real Estate.
If you were with us on the last couple of episodes, one of the things we talked about was the myth of real estate and some of the expectations that people have when they get into the business. And one of those was having a lot of flexibility and independence. And that kind of ties back to even another episode where we were talking about how you have to set boundaries within your business.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we're coming at this with a little bit of privilege because we're more established in our businesses. But when do you know it's time to cut a client loose? There are just some times where no paycheck is worth it to continue dealing with what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I have worked with horrible people that I did not cut loose because I needed the paycheck.
We've all been there.
I understand when you're a new agent, you're hustling, you're scrapping, and you are not going to give up a client without a fight, no matter how horrible they are. But part of that boundary setting is just knowing that sometimes you do have to, you have to break up sometimes.
Yeah. I have discovered that the ones that don't respect me, don't trust my judgment, want second opinions. To be honest, the longer I've stuck it out on the commercial side, they never do anything anyway. So I'm bending over backwards for them. I'm, doing more and jumping when they ask me to jump, and I'm doing all of this. And I've never had them sign a lease. I've never had them actually buy anything. They're usually people that don't have a lot of money, or they're liquidating all their assets to be able to afford a commercial piece of property or buy something, and or open a business in a lease space. And I have just found that, like, the harder you are to work with, the less likely you're actually going to do something, because
that's really true.
The easy clients are, the ones, or not easy, but the ones that are, at least, even if you're asking me difficult questions and you say thank you, or you say, hey, I know it's Friday at 4:00. I appreciate you taking my call or trying to help me. I think those are people I want more of. So, I was telling you last week, I pushed away a $4.7 million buyer. I did numbers for him. I did all of this. And then he was like, well, I don't trust your math. I want somebody else to review your math. And I was like, well, he's like, do you know anybody else? And I said, an appraiser, and he's going to charge you at least $5,000 to do what I just did for you for free, with the hope that you're going to hire me to write the offer for this purchase. And, I was like, I can send you my resume. I've sold 50 million in the last 3 years. What else do you want from me? And, it's now been 5 days, and he has not responded to any of those texts because it was by text. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, no, it's not that I don't trust you. I'm just trying to understand. I'm new. And so I was just like, I'm done with you. So then yesterday, funny part of the story is I texted the residential agent that sent me the referral. I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I don't think this is going anywhere. He doesn't trust my judgment. He doesn't trust me. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I can do about this. And so she called me, and she's like, well, funny you would say that, because he called and asked me if I knew a realtor in Texas that would sell his house for free. And I said, bingo, we should have had this conversation sooner, because that's exactly what he's doing to me. Yeah. So I have learned I was doing all of that. And if I had just called the agent first, she probably would have, or like as this was happening, maybe given me some insights, and I would have backed away first. But it's like, I was working with him for 4 weeks, and he still wasn't writing an offer, still was questioning. And I thought, I'm done. So, it is a position of privilege to push him away. But then guess what happened? I have a past client came back to me this week and said, we want to buy a $4.5 million apartment complex. Great. I'm making time for you because I pushed away the other guy that just doesn't trust my judgment, and I don't have to buy into their trust. They already trust me. So it's like, let's go. Let's, rock and roll. So.
And on the residential side, sometimes we just had a buyer in our brokerage. I won't say just had, because we still have her. Her attitude is, everything is overpriced. This market is ridiculous. This area is ridiculous. I would never pay these prices for any of these houses. Okay. Then she sends a list. Can we go look at these 7?
Okay.
And then they're all garbage.
Like, need a lot of work, you mean?
No, just in her opinion. I would never pay this much for this house. We look at 7 houses. I would never pay that price. Okay. The next day, let's write an offer on this one. And so on and so on. to the point where now the agent that's working with her says, I'm not showing her any more houses because she does, it's all pessimism. And then she says, okay, let's write an offer. The house has been on the market for 2 days and I'm coming in 50,000 low. When my comps that I'm doing for you show you it's at market value. If you got it at that price, it would be a deal. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to go over. Right. It's going to be multiple offers. No, I want to write an offer, 20% low. That's not worth my time. That's not worth the time. And if that's going to be her attitude on every property we look at, she's not a serious buyer.
It'll never get better.
And so to be in a position, again, where you can say, I don't think I'm the right fit for you, is a position of privilege. But also, I don't feel like I would lose anything because she wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Right. So I would agree. And it's the heartache that you put into that. I'd rather put my time into prospecting for a new client, or find another lead or something to work where, again, please and thank you go a long way.
Yeah.
And it's okay that you can question my information. I don't understand how you got there, please. But when you then question my judgment or you don't think that I know what I'm doing, at some point I'm like, then if you need to go work with a man, then you should.
Well, I mean, it's just offensive to begin with. Like you're hiring me as a professional, then saying, well, I don't really trust your judgment.
Yes.
Okay. Then no, thank you.
You should go find somebody else. So yes, I would encourage people. I kind of wish I would have learned this sooner because again, I've never closed any of the deals. Even when I was on your side of the business and now on the commercial side for 4 years, I've never closed the deals working with these difficult people that insist that they know more, want to do it their way, try to tell me how to do my job, and it's just like, I've never closed a deal with you. So what, maybe you should go work with somebody else.
What is my motivation to take this level of abuse? Like, right. If you are like an awesome repeat client who's put a lot of money in my pocket, I might tolerate you being an asshole a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We fired sellers that are just abusive though. And so, we also don't put up with that. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't come to work to be beat up every day. And so if you're going to be very bluntly disrespectful, we had a seller, actually it was the first commercial seller we ever worked with. I was on the phone with him for 45 minutes. He flat out told me he didn't like women.
Good to know.
We go on the listing appointment and I told my business partner, I was like, you lead the conversation. He's very clear. He does not like women. He's told me about all his 7 wives or whatever. And so we get there and, again, he talks to my male business partner, doesn't really want to look at me. And, a woman asked me, well, why'd you take the deal? I was like, well, his money's been freaking good. Like, I don't mind doing the back end of the stuff. If he wants to work with my business partner, that's great. His money, his cash was still good. And was he a jerk? And then we just got to the point where we realized anytime after noon he'd been drinking. Yeah. So only take his calls in the morning before he drank too much. I wouldn't go meet with him alone just because he kind of seemed like a little skeevy. But hey, that $15,000 check felt good in my pocket.
And you were lucky that you have a male business partner who could kind of step in and be like, okay, I'll do that. I mean, we have that in residential. Like sometimes I'll have somebody who's working, I'll have an agent who's working with a client and they're like, I've shown them 1 million houses. I don't want to lose this deal. I know they're going to buy, but we're just not a good fit. Refer it to somebody else before you get fired.
And before you make zero money.
Yes, because you're going to get fired if you're not a good fit and you want out. So take the initiative to say, I think that you would get along a lot better with my coworker, Andy. So she's going to show you that next house and do a referral, do a split. So many agents will just like dig their heels in and be like, nope, I've put too much into this. It's like staying in a bad marriage. You know what I mean? Like when people will say like, oh, we should have been divorced 10 years ago, but they stuck it out.
Yeah.
They end up divorced anyway, except 10 years later of lost time. And I don't know. I'm on a tangent. But just it's empowering to know that if you know your value, you know your worth, and you don't want to put up with people's shit, let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go. I've worked with sellers that are verbally abusive, that are calling, drunk dialing, that are overly demanding, like, I want you here now for this. And as a brand new agent, I took a lot of that.
Oh, we all do in the beginning.
And I feel for anybody who I feel really sympathetic to anybody who feels like they're in a position where they do have to take that, but try to find the out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Well, we appreciate you listening to our experience and our stories today. We hope that that has not happened to you, but please feel free to leave a comment, like or share, and share with us what has happened to you. We'd love to hear your stories. And
we will see you next time on Broker Brains.
Yeah, and thank you for watching this week. And if you can, take care of yourself and someone else too. Bye.